Alright, coming to you once again to read my latest 104th Public Domain Periodical of 2025, the 275th since February 2023. Since this is the last copy of my obsession, give them all away, even the original. Starts with defending the different. There are limits to understanding that will always be a fact. Allowing ignorance to rule, however, is a most egregious act. I reckon it is poetic that a medic would hear the call, that whisper of humanity that warns I was going to fall. Who but a giver of breath and bandager of wounds would be as pathological to keep the living from the tomb? An ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. When it comes to war, the tonnage is sure. How many broken bodies must a paramedic see before looking to their cause to find a remedy? Really? Serious question. Boggles my mind sometimes how many people don't leave war or paramedic service without a fiery passion to prevent those very damned wounds that both professions involve. After the fact is way too late when dealing with bullets and bombs, the deaths of starving children, and the desecration of moms. How does one bridge that barrier of describing what is yet to be to those who can't even discern the truth of things present their eyes see? The truth of things their present eyes see. If the eyes of the soul are so lazy they won't walk a mile in another's shoes, what is the probability they'll shoulder more labor-intensive views? I am more the quantum physics guy when it comes to here and now, when it comes to what will be and how miracles get their how. Love is the liquid emotion and firmness in our bones, by which we become the body of the most heavenly destiny shown. There is anger in the atmosphere, though, from suffering that's forced by those who are dismissive and don damnation's course. If one looks back through human history and picks the stars that form their charts to navigate that direction that tears the living in mass apart, there are many villainous characters of whom the homicidal envy, jealous of such impunity to lord such atrocities. Those afflicted with lack of love, who believe they don't have to care, who have their lists of excuses why others should unfavorably fare, can be convinced that cruelty is acceptable and due, unaware they base their judgments on narratives untrue. How can one avoid such fate of being led by a lie, when trust is so essential for the best of what we try? One way would be if honesty were a requirement of the soul, but that is where the will departs for something other as its goal. Greed or lust or apathy or disdain for who's deceived, the motives can be many to make falsehood what's believed. The battle of good and evil begins within the will, which is where the weight of words can liberate or kill. Hope is the wellspring of life. It hydrates, refreshes, and sustains. Few things can be more antichrist than that which makes hope drain. Denial is the easy road where empathy has no strength, when vision is so short-sighted it cannot see past apathy's length. Woe the wicked tongue of venom that strikes to paralyze prey, to remove their proper discernment until their lives are swallowed away. Like any criminal believes there are good reasons for their way, it is the ancient snake of seduction to convince the conscience it's okay. Like cold is the absence of heat, inhumanity is exactly that. Without the warmth of love, it's what behavior pulls from its hat. How can I yell so you can hear me? What alert tones can I use? Like the ones by emergency dispatch that shakes the sleep of rescuers loose. Medical aid, EMS, fire, and ambulance respond. For years that was my cue to do what I was trained to do, to care for and transport the sick and injured, or triage the dead on scene too. I don't know why other medics were not inspired like I am. Perhaps they weren't raised to believe that influence the world they can. For this I thank my mother, departed Donna Elaine Wing, who taught me to live by faith and love and make good of whatever life brings. For such a Midas touch I cannot thank her enough, to example the behavior through conditions that are tough. She encouraged my following my gut, even when her coworkers laughed that a grown man would leave a good job to pursue poetry as a craft. As the sands of my hourglass fall, my body and world events, with the time I have remaining, wanting to be the best way spent, I am indentured in my gratitude to serve this mission whole, which began one night in the ambulance when a patient died from a bullet hole. The epiphany she shared with me haunts me to this day, with the compulsion to prevent such trauma that no threat or punishment can take away. My priorities have not been normal following that fateful shift. How can anyone do such horrid thing to a life they should rather uplift? How could anyone do this to a beautiful human being? Those were the words that have rang through my soul ever since I pulled her body from the ambulance. The time it takes to mine for gold, that understanding of the soul, withdrawn from all distraction that delays or deters such goal, results in a level of poverty that not everyone can endure, as mental health and success are often weighed by wealth that is sure. Purchasing power and extra income defines the wealthy of our day, not those who do the most good for humanity by promoting the most humane way. This can make it difficult for integrity to stay upright when unselfish service to others has an end that's out of sight. And because no one can see it, they discount its worth at all, as if it's an erroneous dream to believe we could hear that call that whispers its instructions to those who are willing to hear, that love is alive and able to provide the best guide to steer. Sorry, I got emotional and started to cry during that one. That one was called Defending the Different. And then I change and go to this one called Manic Is as Manic Does. Manic is as manic does. I admit I'm a broken man. I've witnessed too much trauma to pacify the damned. I cannot step in line to do as I am told. I cannot step in line to do as I am told when the command is born of greed and orders from a heart that is cold. I will not zip the lips to keep an antidote from the air when poison has been atomized for distribution, not to care. I wish my insanity on no one, but it does not negate what must be said when those who are deceived have been fooled to make others dead. Did you hear that? I wish my insanity on no one, but it does not negate what must be said when those who are deceived have been fooled to make others dead. Encouraged by a paycheck to do what we're taught we never should, false narratives are created to make their evil sound like good. Putting a price tag on immigrants, putting a price tag on persons of color so you can cash in, fuck you. Fuck you. Don't think you're going to get blessed for that. It's impossible. You cannot serve curses. You cannot be the hand of a curse and expect blessings just because you're getting a paycheck. The spirit of Judas Iscariot is alive in that bastard Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller, that ghoul who thinks he's so righteous and pious, and he speaks with such elegant strings of logic. Yeah, he's a sorcerer of the damned. That's it. If I want to pull away all euphemism, he's a sorcerer of the damned. And there is nothing that has come out of the lips of the president that can make it that anything that I am saying right now is offensive or out of line or inappropriate. He has desecrated every institution, every political figure, and everyone who stands upright with integrity. So anyway, back to the poem. Encouraged by a paycheck to do what we're taught we never should, false narratives are created to make their evil sound like good. History discerns this, which is why truth-tellers are despised by fans of strangulation to hide their grift by lies. I wish this were paranoia, but my medic eyes don't lie, having had the role to rescue the ones whom others wanted to die. My poems aren't for everyone, I know this to be true. I grapple the demons of reasons that make evil the things people do. Most people aren't looking for trouble, though, so they aren't the ones to cure or influence the behavior of with literary aim that is sure. How can one permeate that barrier when an audience doesn't want to hear, much less give some respect to alter the way they steer? I don't really know the answer except continuing to try, so I leave the seeds of poetry to hopefully reach the eye that can catch the wind of meaning and understanding what's said, to halt them at decision that would make their soul feel dead. And to the next one. From 1147 West Hamilton Avenue in Campbell, where our California journey began, to where I sit in Zocalo Coffee House, 4 decades more, a seasoned man. Yeah. That tooth that first got cracked delivering papers for the San Jose Mercury News finally came out the other night. I woke up in the morning, swishing around what I thought was a pill in my mouth, going, why didn't I swallow that? And I thought, what? Have a pill in my mouth. That's my tooth. Anyway, after I got knocked in the face for asking the guy to slow down, he warned me though. He said, "Tell me that again, I'll smack you in the face." So I told him the speed limit's for a reason. He smacked me in the face, and now all my top front teeth are coming out. Anyway, so from Hamilton Avenue in Campbell, where our California journey began, to where I sit in Zocalo Coffee House, 4 decades more, a seasoned man. Oh, what an adventure, more grand than I could ever plan, in the way that life's unfolded and where I've been allowed to stand. To whom more is given, more is expected, and I'm laden with treasure galore, which compels me with this gratitude to be a safety against war. Like back in my Pop Warner days when that was my position, making it to state championship, served defeat despite our wishing. The stakes of the game mean more now when Alligator Alcatraz is real, because the president is so ill, he wants decay within us real. I wish I didn't have to write this, but the fact is that I do. Masses are being deceived that evil is now a good thing to do. With a leader who is willing to conduit a spirit of disgust and disdain, like an autoimmune disease that can't tell which cells should remain, the lust for domination to take what is not earned causes collateral damage by which the whole gets burned. Deceived to believe in an arrogant way that dismissing another's existence is both legitimate and okay, the sorcery succeeds to bamboozle the weakened mind that at the end of cursing others, a sweet blessing they're going to find. Let me say that again. Deceived to believe in an arrogant way that dismissing another's existence is both legitimate and okay, the sorcery succeeds to bamboozle the weakened mind that at the end of the cursing of others, a sweet blessing they are going to find. That's the logic of damnation. From the first bust of my front tooth delivering the San Jose Mercury News to the ones that were knocked loose and out by a motorist smug in his abuse, my face has known the solid of concrete and the hand, yet, however it alters my appearance, I still ride as a truth-delivering man. Truth doesn't change with its rejection. It is not negated by its doubt. It can be denied and ignored and slandered all about. Say that again. Truth doesn't change with its rejection. It isn't negated by doubt, even though it can be denied and ignored and slandered all about. The origin of motive, the source of our intent, the direction we are going where we want the fellow living sent, be it heaven or hell, be it blessing or curse, be it love for others or willingness to sell them for a purse. Again, the origin of motive, the source of our intent, the direction we are going where we want the fellow living sent. Be it heaven or hell, be it blessing or curse, be it love for others or willingness to sell them for a purse. This one's called Without Love, Empty Glove. Some don't care about that, though. Without love, empty glove. Some don't care about that, though. They have no want to be God's hand. For that to ever happen, they'd have to heed Good's simple demand. They have to be humble and listen, not assume in arrogant haste that giving attention to another would simply be a waste. It is easy to believe our good fortune might be acquired by our wit, but there is more than our possession that determines how we fit. S's and F's are going to be hard for me now. Thank you for trying. All the variables of existence that we cannot control far exceed our awareness in how our fate unfolds. True, we have the liberty to choose the path we take, to be good stewards of our resources or one awaiting wooden stake. Biting the neck of one so they must bite another, with thirst the only Lord, not respect for living mothers. I wish I didn't have to write so sharp, but humanity is in need. The predators of darkness are gathering to feed. Appetizers have been set with the main course yet to come, when the master is emboldened to crush humanity with its thumb. Not with loving guidance, just the ego and its muse, the fantasy of superiority to which they kneel and serve abuse. There you have it. That was my reading of my 104th Public Domain Periodical of 2025. From under the redwood tree, may sanity and humanity prevail in our time, and may you love life in others as much as you love it in yourself, and may you appreciate every breath that we are given. May life, God, truth, the way bless you all.